Give it up for Paul.
You are tall. You've heard this one. You got this one. Do your thing. I'm sitting at my desk running a project status video call for one of my company's largest and most profitable clients, when I get a ominous text from Lori, my manager. I look at it and it says, "Give me a call as soon as you get done with the call that you're on." This is about the invitation that just wound up in your inbox. I'm running a call, so I really have to pay attention to what's going on. So I just give her a thumbs up emoji back and go back and complete the call that I'm on with the customer. All the time I'm thinking, what's going on? What's so urgent? So as soon as the call's done, I go to my inbox and I see an invitation. It's from Dave, the Senior Vice President of my organization. It only has a subject line. It says, "We need to talk about this morning's call." That's it. Nothing else going on in there. Now, one of the things I've learned over the years is that if a text, a conversation, an email starts with, "We need to talk," it's never good. So I call Lori. She picks up the call immediately. She's clearly flustered. She's breathing heavily. And I said, "Lori, what's going on?" She said, "I just wanted to let you know that myself and one of the reps from HR were BCC'd on that invitation. So we're all going to be on that call. So I didn't want you to be surprised when you join the call at the end of the day today." So I'm thinking, oh boy, what did I do? It's like, am I being fired? I was like, wait a minute. Dave, the VP, was on that call with me, and everything went extremely well. I was like, I'm thinking, oh, maybe I'm getting a promotion. So I asked Lori, I said, "What's going on?" And she says, "Well, on the call, Dave said that you used the forbidden four-letter word." I was like, oh, shit. Oh, it wasn't that word. So I was like, the rest of the day, I'm going through, I'm replaying that call, trying to figure out exactly what I said and when I said it, and I can't think of it. The end of the day rolls around, it's 5:30. Another thing is, you really don't want to get on a call at 5:30 with HR. I get on the call, everybody else is already on, and Dave lays into me almost instantly. And he says, "On that call this morning, you said something to the customer that you never, ever should have said. They asked you when phase one of the project was going to be done, and you said, 'I hope by April 30th. And he said, "The customer doesn't pay us to have hope. They're the only ones allowed to have hope. Hope is a four-letter word, and you should know better than to say that." Then he said, "I want you to remove the word hope from your vocabulary completely." Well, I needed the job, so I worked hard, and I actually did it. Every time I went to use the word hope, I substituted something else and completely eliminated it from my vocabulary. So that worked out fairly well in the business environment. However, a few years later, my wife, Andy, was diagnosed with a terminal stage 4 cancer. And as we're going through different treatments, we joined a support group for other patients with terminal stage 4 cancers. And one thing that we found out in these meetings, that hope was the most common word that we ever heard. People would say, "I hope my next scans go well. I hope my family's going to be okay. I hope that I live long enough to meet my grandchildren. There were a lot of things going on in that group. And one of the things that we found is in that particular group, we were just going to way, way too many funerals. It was tough on us. So my wife, Andy, passed away a couple years later. And when I told Lori that I was going out on bereavement leave, I also told her that I probably was not going to return to work after bereavement leave was over because I had had enough, and I'll take an early retirement. So she came back and said, okay, we can do that, but I'm going to have to conduct an exit interview before you go. I said, great, thank you. So we scheduled a time for the exit interview. We scheduled a time for the exit interview, and it's a video call. I get on, Lori's on, and Dave is there as well. And they're doing their best to try to convince me to stay because they're saying, we really, really need your help to get a lot of these projects turned around. And I was like, no, I can't. I just can't do it. So Dave gives it one last shot, and he says to me, he says, we're really hoping that you can join us. So I just smiled, paused for a second, and said, Dave, hope is not a strategy. Thank you.
Give it up for Paul.